Criminal networks appear to be growing bolder by the day. The night of music at Nairobi's Ngong Racecourse ended in fear and trauma as revelers leaving the venue were robbed in the early hours of Sunday morning. As concerns mount over organized urban crime, questions are being raised about whether Kenya's security and intelligence agencies are keeping pace with increasingly sophisticated criminal networks. KTN's senior security reporter Francis Ontomwa examines.
Sunday, 4 a.m. outside Ngong Racecourse, revelers streaming out after a night of music suddenly found themselves under attack. Guns descended on the crowd, robbing them of their phones, wallets, and their personal valuables. The incident is the latest violent crime to hit Nairobi, raising fresh concerns that organized criminal networks are becoming increasingly emboldened. How could dozens of revelers be targeted at such a predictable exit point without any apparent security intervention? In Mlolongo, CCTV cameras recently captured missing businessman Jimmy Mutava moments after he reportedly met a senior police officer in the area. Days later, his family still has no answers about his whereabouts. These incidents are fueling fears that a crime wave may be returning to Nairobi, this time with greater coordination and intensity.
You can imagine our girls, our children. For me, for instance, I know that past 10, I'll have to have other alternative means of transport or other ways I can get home.
But are these merely isolated criminal acts or signs of a deeper intelligence failure? The country now appears to be confronting a new phase of urban goonism. Security analysts say some of the attacks bear characteristics commonly associated with organized criminal operations. For many criminals, the boda has become the perfect gateway vehicle, fast, agile, and capable of disappearing into Nairobi's traffic within seconds. I looked for one Kevin Mubadi, the chairperson of the Boda Safety Association of Kenya, an organization representing more than 2.5 million riders nationwide. I want to understand what the association is doing to weed out rogue operators.
In Nairobi, we rolled out registration where every person who is riding a motorcycle must have a circle and must be registered, and the circles must have numbers. So we are implementing that. We request that all riders adhere to those regulations so that we differentiate between who is the genuine rider and who is a criminal.
Despite providing employment to millions of young Kenyans, the boda sector has for years faced calls for tighter regulation. Some have even proposed banning motorcycles from Nairobi CBD, citing persistent concerns over congestion, insecurity, and public safety.
It is a huge economic boost to the country whereby we cannot just abolish it. And when you look at the employment opportunity, there are not enough employment opportunities in this country, and these youth have employed themselves. They can pay rent, they can pay school fees for their children, they can buy food, basic needs. So this is something that you cannot just wake up and abolish it.
At the same time, attention is also turning to Kenya's intelligence architecture. Much of the work of the National Intelligence Service remains classified. However, questions are now being asked about whether the agency, mandated under the Kenyan law to prevent threats to national security, is receiving actionable intelligence and sharing it effectively with other security agencies. Could there be a breakdown in intelligence gathering? Or is the challenge one of coordination and enforcement?
A few hours ago, behind me at the main gate of the Ngong Racecourse, this was a crime scene. And they say that crime rarely happens in a vacuum. It comes with lots of surveillance before execution. And with every crime that happens, it almost feels like the criminal networks are steps ahead of the Kenyan police. Francis Ontomwa, KTN at the Ngong Racecourse, Nairobi.
Tough questions there.